What's up guys, JBRider here, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to Crossout. Hope you guys are doing well. So today we are in the mass test server to test out the changes the devs have planned for the upcoming update, which are kinda scary. So I'll be going over all the changes in the dev blog to see how it will actually impact the game. Okay, the first thing they mentioned in the dev blog is changes to the wheels. They say these changes were necessary because they were changing up the visuals to make it look more realistic, and right now we have a more arcadey feel and it would not correspond with what we would see on the screen, which, you know, makes sense, and I think this improvement is just fine. They'll also be changing how your vehicle interacts with hitboxes. Before you would get stuck a lot, and now you have a more elasticity feel, so you should bounce off certain objects more than you used to. The turning speed was also reduced of the wheels, and it's now more dependent on the vehicle's mass. And I tested it out, I could feel the difference, and it doesn't feel that bad at all. Something interesting that I found out is that when you have the weight of the vehicle in front of the center mass, like the front side, your vehicle has more control, and if you have the weight on the rear side of the vehicle, your vehicle tends to slip more. That is currently in the live server and the test server. Vehicle suspension now tilts the vehicles when the speed vector changes. And the handbrake now only locks the rear wheels, whether it's a steering wheel or a non-steering wheel. Everything behind the center of mass is seen as the rear of the vehicle, so everything there will lock up. They also mentioned that vehicles with non-steering wheels should have better grips, and cars with only steering wheels will skid more. And when I tested it out, I could feel the difference a little bit, but not a lot, maybe like 5% difference in grip. As for the tracks, they reduced the turning speed and also increased the track's vehicle's dependency on its mass. They also changed the turning radius of some tracks, but they didn't specify which one, so there's that. When I tested the changes for the tracks, I couldn't really tell the difference. You know, they just felt like normal tracks for me. There's a reason why I never use tracks in this game, but I hope with these changes the tracks might actually be a little bit better than what they're used to. They also mentioned fixing a bug with the tracks that would abruptly change direction after bumping into an obstacle. I think this was a bug for the small tracks when they were just spinning around after hitting something. That was crazy. That was really annoying. Next, they gave a massive buff to mechanical legs, the ML200s and the Bigrams, and probably the coolest thing now is you can actually climb on different platforms and steep slopes, which is so cool to see. The animation is still kind of wonky, but you know, it works. And they mentioned in the devlogs that legs have now become more resistant to pushing, and I really hope that's the case, because in Clan Wars, like, puny little fire dogs could just push you like easily. Like a 25-ton spider build could get pushed by like a 10-ton like firebug build. That was so annoying, and it did not make any sense. Let's talk about the Augers and the Omni wheels. These also got a very nice buff, which I'm not complaining about, and since I fell in love with the Omni wheels recently, they just feel even better now with these new changes. They feel almost as good as hovers now. Not quite there yet, but they feel very similar. But yeah, they increased the strafe speed on these movement parts when they're already going in a straight line, which just feels amazing. You know, it's hard to like show it, but you know, when you feel it, when you play it, you know, you can actually feel the difference. And they also gave a new special perks. Next up, we have one of the biggest changes that a lot of players don't agree with, and that is the most toxic movement part according to the devlog, and then the hovers. They refined and changed the animation of the hovers, and now the hover builds will tilt more from acceleration and speed. Which means hovers are no longer this stable platform we're used to. Most weapons will still work, but some might not work anymore, like those cannon hovers, the tsunami hovers, and typhoon hovers. Those might not be that good anymore. You can still strafe with your hovers, but just like the other parts, it uses mouse aim now, and a limited turn angle if you like go left and right, which is, I don't know, it's just weird. It feels weird. But I do have to admit, with the hover changes, giving it mouse aim, it does feel easier to track targets, especially for new players, which you also mentioned. They want new players to get like in the hover game and not force them to make sideways hover build. But yeah, it does feel easier to track targets with this system. So the devs want to get rid of sideways hovers. Personally, I don't really mind. I have a ton of sideways builds, and I would have to change them, which sucks, but I don't mind that they want to get rid of something that was not intended to work like that, because I don't think they ever intended people would make sideways hover builds. But I don't have a problem with that. The problem I have is with the camera. If you're forcing us to use a different camera system, like that's just wrong. Like, if it's an option to toggle it, if you want to use the mouse aim or just normal classic aim, that would be great if you have the option to. But just don't force us to like use a different camera mechanic. For example, in my Scorpion hover build, my cabin's in the front, and sometimes when I lose all the armor, I can see my cabin on fire. I spin around 180 degrees and use my rear armor, and I can still fire. But now with these changes, I can't do that. Once I see my cabin's on fire, it's game over, which kind of sucks. So yeah, sideways hover builds are completely destroyed now. You can't look left or right in a sideways hover now. But I did see something interesting. If you're making a forward-facing hover, you can now mount hovers on the left and right side of your build, what we're used to, but also in the front and the rear, just like the claw wheels and the sabot wheels. So if that's the case, this change could still work. People can get around. We can fix something. We're pretty creative. But the whole camera system, still don't like it. But the hovers, we can still make hovers work. They also buffed the hovers again to compensate for this change, which should be interesting. What do you guys think of these new hover changes and camera changes? Let me know in the comment section down below, because a lot of people are not happy about the hover changes and the camera changes, especially the camera changes. Most people are okay with the hover changes, but the camera changes, that's a big one because it affects spider builds, Omni builds, Auger builds, and hovers. Okay, so when I just logged into the test server, I made a small mistake when making this video. I tested out a hover build where you can mount the hovers in the front and on the sides, but you can't do that. That was just a bug. But if they do that, that would be a great change for people that still like sideways hovers build. That would be an awesome solution in my opinion. I don't know why the devs don't allow to mount your hovers in the front and on the sides, because if you lose the hovers on the sides, your build will still flip over. And I think that is an awesome idea. I hope the devs will go through with that option, because it is possible, but I think there's an issue with it. That's why they're not implementing that. But personally, I think it would be cool. They also nerfed the spark and the flash, which I'm okay with, because the flash was super annoying to deal with in Clan Wars. And the breaker might get a perk change and turn into a parser. Kind of worried it might now become a fast-firing parser. But yeah, that was it for the planned changes, guys. Please leave all your feedback in the comment section down below. Let me know what you think about the changes. Are you excited about them? Are you mad about them? Are you gonna stop playing? Because personally, that was my immediate reaction when I saw that they were going to change the camera and the hover. Like, bro, I'm going to stop playing. And a lot of people said the same thing. But, getting onto the test server, it's not super bad. Not going to lie. It's not super bad. I'm not sure if we just need to get used to it a little bit. I still personally think that the camera change, they should skip it. Just scrap it or make it toggleable. Kill sideways hovers, I don't care. But the camera is, it's a big no-no. The wheels, the movement parts, they're okay. The chains are okay. The Omni wheels and the meat grinder wheels, they feel okay as long as they remove the camera option. And like the whole 45-degree strafe turn, the whole thing they changed there, I don't agree with it. I do not agree with that. Now to clarify, the new camera controls are only for movement parts that have strafing capabilities. So normal cars will still behave normally with the old camera controls. But yeah, the game also looks super great. You have reflections, you have motion blur, you have DLSS now. And yeah, a lot of cool extra features. I didn't notice an impact on my performance, but if you do, you can always turn off these new features. The bridge on the map bridge is now also destructible, which is pretty cool. And if you are on the bridge or below it, you will get destroyed instantly. That was it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching. Peace out.